mas pinabilis na ang registration po naman, ang registration system para sa mga gustong magbukas na negosyo sa bansa. Anong proseso na lang po ba ang kailangan nilang pagdaraanan kumpara noon, Commissioner Kevin?
Good morning, Sec Martin. Yun nga po, no? We now have the one check, ang tawag po natin yan. No? That is the one-day registration system po natin. No? Ito po ay para sa mga pro forma na system, so mabilis po yan na processing. No? You can in theory process yung mga documents in one day po.
Base po sa inyong datos, kumusta po ang dami ng mga nagre-register na domestic corporation mula ng magka-pandemic? Dumami po ba o bumaba?
Actually, medyo nag-stabilize po, dumami na po. At the height of the pandemic po kasi, Sec Martin, kumonti po yan. No? We were down to like siguro 100 to 500 applications lang per month. Ngayon po, we're back to normal na po. No? Mas mataas pa nga. We're doing mga 2,000 per month po yata, roughly, no? Na mga incorporation. So that's good. That shows na marami pong interesado magnegosyo. They see hope nga po in yung ekonomiya po natin.
Ito naman pong nauuso ngayon na Anxi, Infinity at iba pang kahalintulad na plataforma. Nakapag-register na po ba sila sa SEC o may license na po ba sila to operate sa bansa?
Base po sa verification ng records po namin, no, they did not register po as a business dito sa SEC. Wala rin po silang secondary license, no, conduct regulated activity, meaning yung mga investment solicitation. Wala po silang lisensya for that. Pero, Sec Martin, if I may, no, to be clear lang, no, we're not saying na illegal po sila just because hindi sila nag-register. Kasi parehas po yan sa maraming mga ibang online entities na dito sa Pilipinas. No? We are studying them all. Yung mga similar na crypto, mga online platforms, yung mga play to earn. We're trying to determine their legal status under our current laws. No? So whether or not they are legal or illegal or need to register later on, that is something we still have to determine at the SEC. Pero while we're waiting for that determination po kasi, lumabas po kami ng advisory reminding everyone to be careful before you transact with yung mga ganon na entities. Kasi these are online entities but they are foreign registered, not registered here in the Philippines. So we are requesting the public to be more careful before they transact na yung mga ganito po.
Nabanggit po ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas na hindi pa kailangan magparehistro ng mga play-to-earn gaming platforms na ito at minomonitor nyo sila closely, pero it involves trading po of cryptocurrency. Wala po bang kahit anong jurisdiction dito ang SEC at BSP?
Well, meron po, no, Sec Martin, kasi when it comes to securities and digital assets, and digital assets like yung mga ito, mga cryptocurrencies, they're considered a form of security. So, clear talaga by under the jurisdiction ng SEC po yan, based on yung mga Howey test and the Securities Regulation Code. Pero siguro the question for us at the SEC, are these play-to-earn platforms really considered as digital assets or securities? Yun, hindi pa po clear kasi nga we're still studying it, no? And in relation to that, lalabas po sana ang SEC ng digital asset offering rules and digital asset exchange rules which will help work out yung mga jurisdictional issues. No? Actually, sa alam ko, maraming people are interested na in seeing those rules. So we're looking forward to issuing those rules para ma-stabilize po natin yung industry within the year po sana. As to the BSP pala, Sec Martin, whether or not they have jurisdiction, siguro I'll defer to them. Pero ang last meeting po namin, and I think yung announcement po nila before, they might be considered itong AXI as an operator of payment system. So might be under their jurisdiction. Pero siguro I'll defer to the BSP na po on that.
Walang SEC requirement ang ganitong mga laro. Paano po matutukoy ng ating mga kababayan kung lehitimo yung mga sinasalihan nila at ano-ano po yung risk na maaring mangyari sa pagsali nila sa mga ganitong uri ng gaming platforms?
Well, siguro to stay safe, Sec Martin, no? To find out if legitimate po ba mga to o hindi, yung mga online foreign platforms, ang suggestion ko po talaga is to do your due diligence. No? Yung mga public po, mag-aral, mag-research, i-check kayo, mag-check po kayo with the SEC. Yun ang tagline po namin, check with check. no? At tingnan mo if registered nga ba sila with either the SEC or the BSP para malaman mo yung legitimacy nila, no? Kasi if they're registered, syempre, or may indications that they're registered, then bigger chance na legitimate siya, less likely na ma-scam ka or ma-risk yung mga hard-earned pera niyo po, no? But as to the risk, medyo marami nga yung risk if there's data privacy risk. You don't know what they'll do with your data, especially if they're not registered here in the Philippines. Yung pera niyo rin po, you don't know what will happen to yung pera niyo kung malalabas pa ba yan o hindi. One example, if I may, no, Checkmart, is kung narinig yung nangyari kay si Sir James Deacon, yung isang vlogger po yata, no, na online. Pumasok po siya ng isang online foreign registered platform, tapos nagka-problema yata, muntik na hindi lumabas yung pera niya. More so, na naging pa yata, I think na zero pa nga yata yung account niya. No? Buti na lang naayos nila. But in that situation, medyo mahirap nga po for Mr. Deacon to try and seek legal recourse dito sa Pilipinas. If ever, he would have had to file a case sana wherever that company was registered abroad. No? So siguro I emphasize the point, be careful, mag-research po kayo bago kayo pumasok sa mga ganito po.
Sa ngayon, may mga existing protection po ba tayo para sa mga kababayan nating sumasali halimbawa sa mga cryptocurrency sites at play-to-earn gaming platforms?
Well, yung palagi po namin sinasabi, Seth Martin, is siguro you check with SEC, you determine whether or not it is registered with us, no? Kung registered kasi with the Philippines, then syempre you have the protections of Philippine law. And then you can file the appropriate cases. You can even file with the SEC or the BSP. And then try to seek return of your money, try to seek justice nga po. Pero kung foreign registered nga po kasi, yun na ang problema po natin, foreign registered, not registered in the Philippines, but they are supposedly operating here in the Philippines as an online platform, medyo marami po nga yung risk, no? And mas limited po yung protection in that situation kasi nga the entity isn't here in the Philippines. More than likely, it's technically operating in another country. So the best protection nga po talaga in that situation, financial literacy, no? Mag-aaral po kayo, do your research, do your due diligence bago po kayo pumasok sa mga ganitong industry.
Pag-usapan din po natin itong update sa mga lending applications nitong panahon ng pandemya. Kumusta po ang turnout ng mga kababayan nating tumatangkilik sa mga online lending apps?
Marami po, Sec Martin, no? Dumami po yung base sa mga report na nakukuha po namin, marami pong interest sa mga online lending apps, no? Kasi nga siguro it's very simple, mabilis lang po kumuha ng pera, no, from based on the app, no, makakakuha ka kaagad within minutes. Pero before you get into that, I would encourage nga, no, the public na mag-assess ka muna if you really need the money, you really need to borrow the money, and if ever you do borrow, doon po kayo sa listahan ng SEC. Meron po kasi tayong listahan sa SEC yung of 88 online lending platforms that are registered with the SEC. So, yun ang mga medyo mas credible po sana, no? I would suggest you go to the SEC website, www.sec.gov.ph. Meron tayong listahan of the 88 registered online lending apps. Or better yet, you go to one of the more larger lending apps, no? Yung mga home credit, yung mga kasyalo, kasi at least yun, or sila tala, at least alam mo po, medyo legitimate po sila, no?
May mga reports pa rin po bang nakakarating sa inyo tungkol sa mga hinaharas na borrowers? Tama rin po ba na nito lamang nakaraang buwan ay 4 na lending companies ang naipasara dahil sa privacy violations?
Ay, opo. Meron po. The National Privacy Commission, no, which deals with privacy issues, recently shut down po yata 4 na lending apps, no, if I recall correctly. So, but there are mga reports nga po na mga hinaharas, no, we get them. We are the SEC kasi is the primary agency that deals with lending companies, no, under the Lending Company Regulation Act. So we issued na, Sec Martin, the MC-18, the Memorandum Circular 18, yung on unfair debt collection practices. So ito po yung nagdetermine, ito po yung mga rules that what you can or cannot do. And binabawal po natin yung mga nag-harass. And if they do harass, you can file with the SEC. And actually, if I kwento ko lang very quickly ibang mga numbers po namin, Sec Martin, nag-cancel na nga po ang SEC ng ilang secondary licenses, no? 35 secondary licenses. We've revoked the secondary licenses of some violating lending companies. We've suspended 3. We've issued 58 orders since the beginning of our jurisdiction. I think we have revoked over 2,000 na nga po na lending companies na medyo alanganin po, no? So So we are very active in this space. We are trying as much as possible to make sure na safe po nga din, no, yung public po when it comes to these lending applications, when they come to these kinds of things.
Bigyan daan lang po natin ang tanong ng mga kasamahan natin sa media. Please go ahead, Yusek Rocky.
Thank you, Secretary Martin. Tanong po ni Evelyn Quiroz ng Filipino Mirror sa inyo, Commissioner Lim. In 2023, PLCs or publicly listed companies will also need to submit their sustainability reports in addition to their annual reports applied to a Philippine setting. And considering the ongoing pandemic, do you believe that such SRs will reflect the true state of such PLCs?
Yes po, Yusek. Kasi if very technical, I'm gonna be a little technical na po. Yung sustainability reporting po kasi is an important mechanism to determine whether or not yung the company, the publicly listed company, is following and doing the requirements for SDGs, no, in the future. And we look from what we're seeing, kasi nga the data is with us, no, from what we're seeing, mataas nga po yung interest na yung compliance rate ng mga publicly listed companies. So we're looking at mga 90+% no, na compliance rate on these publicly listed companies, which is unheard of, no, in other jurisdictions. So we're doing very well when it comes to that. The companies are interested, and my understanding is based on the report and data na bigay po sa akin, they are working very hard on this, and they are making sure that these things are accurate and legitimate, no? Especially considering a lot of them are working with yung mga large foundations from abroad, no? For example, the Global Reporting Initiative, which focuses on sustainability issues. So medyo baka technical na po, but bottom line is yes, I firmly believe na most of these sustainability reports that are submitted to us are good, accurate. We are actually looking forward to making it mandatory nga po sana sa 2023 under the memorandum circular po namin. But whether or not we will do that, siguro let's assess, kasi I am a little worried about compliance and the difficulties of compliance because of yung COVID. Baka mahirapan po yung mga constituents po natin, yung publicly listed companies. Sorry, medyo naging technical po.
Okay.
Maraming salamat po sa inyong impormasyon, SEC Commissioner Kelvin Lee. Mabuhay po kayo, sir.
Thank you, sir.